Hey man, what's good with y'all YouTube? It's Bible Saw back with another video, and we got regular show again. This is the third regular show video I made because I was scrolling on YouTube. I seen the return of regular show, and I'm excited for this, bro. Somebody in my comments said, and I think it was Mordecai. It was my Mordecai video. Yo, then let me put my phone on D&D. It's already on D&D. He's trying to get past it, but yeah. They had said there's gonna be a new regular show called The Lost Files or something. I guess the scenes we haven't seen, and then beyond then. But these guys got beards, so it might be 25 years later. That would be cool. I don't know. And they said it might be a more adult version, more like cussing, I guess, smoking, all that. But either way, I'm gonna watch it. Even if it's a kid's version, I'm gonna watch it because it's gonna be cool. And then the actual creator said he's gonna be a part of it too. So let's go ahead and get right into it.
So a few months back, I made a video talking about how a new regular show series was inevitable, since everything from the 2010s is getting a revival. And then they announced that the show really is coming back a couple of weeks later. An announcement that's been met with some pretty mixed reactions. While a lot of the response has been extremely positive, there's just as many people wondering why. Why do we need more regular show when it has such a perfect ending? One of the greatest endings in television history. I'm not gonna lie. Mordecai and Rigby.
The ending was top 2 endings I ever seen, at least in cartoon history, bro. Like Gumball ending, that was the worst ending I've ever seen in my life. So they actually need to continue because that was horrible. Adventure Time, I don't think I ever watched the ending. I just stopped watching it after a little bit. But same thing with regular show and Gumball. I just watched it later on. I never kept going with Adventure Time, but yeah, regular show got a top.
Moved on from working at the park. Mordecai became a successful artist, met his wife, and everyone had like a gazillion kids.
I forgot.
Oh, and Pops died. Weird. Can you really have more regular show without Pops? Suffice to say,
I do want to hear him talking about Pops.
There's reason to be hyped. There's also reason to be concerned about this return to television. But honestly, even if they do go beyond that iconic finale, I think they're going to pull it off. They got a lot of the old crew returning to work on it, and if they do pick things up where they left off, they actually have a lot to work with. Not to mention, with Fiona and Cake being a huge success, who's to say that this series won't follow in its footsteps and make the leap from kids show that really pushes the envelope to a full-fledged adult animated series? But I'm getting ahead of myself. After all, we don't know all that much about this new regular show, just that it is being considered an entirely separate series from the original, and that J.G. Quintel is back as showrunner. Although we recently have gotten some pretty major updates that are worth dissecting. So not only am I gonna run through everything we know about regular show's big comeback, but I also whipped up 4 different paths I could see the series heading in. I'm also pretty sure I have a good idea of how they'll handle the loss of Pops. Also, if you're feeling a stroll down memory lane, be sure to check out Roundtable Rewind, a new channel that has a bunch of Roundtable videos old and new, re-edited into themed compilations. We just put one out on regular show, and we got some on Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, and cartoon news that you can check out right now. Thank you so much for your continued support. Now let's dive in. So as I said in the intro, a chunk of the OG regular show crew is coming back to work on the new series. Once the series wrapped up, a bunch of them moved over to shows like Close Enough, Infinity Train, and OKKO. But now, all of those shows are dead. The industry itself is in rough shape at the moment, so it didn't seem like it was too tough getting the band back together. With creator J.G. Quintel steering the ship. Of course, there are going to be some new faces on board. Regular show itself had different crew members come and go throughout its run. Any cartoon that runs for that long will. But I do think it's still nice to know that the people who had a hand in making it what it was are going to be involved with its future. I think that's important for a series like regular show because it is storyboard driven. They're not working with a script, which some cartoons like Gravity Falls have. With regular show,
regular show, I feel like the first few seasons were just episodes they were throwing out, obviously, because it was just random stuff happening. Then later in the season, it developed like storyline. They'll throw in some stories like when CJ came into play, Margaret, the whole Margaret situation, every now and then episodes, they'll throw something in, then it'll reference to the last time they seen each other. But for the most part, it was just random stuff happening until later on. Obviously, when they went to space and stuff, the park was getting under construction. My favorite ones were the Christmas specials, Halloween specials. Those were all cool too. It was just like a good little fill-in episode that's really trendy, and people are always gonna come back to that.
are just given an outline of what happens in the episode and bring it to life.
People might start making memes
the
about
dialogue, expressions, so many of the jokes. That all comes from a team of people who become more comfortable with the characters as they spend more time with them. I think a balance of veterans and newcomers could be a good mix for any kind of sequel project. The crew aren't the only people making a comeback either, as it's confirmed that some of our favorite characters are returning for this new rendition of the series. Mark Hamill recently confirmed during a panel at Fan Expo Chicago that he's reprising his role as Skips, a statement that in itself revealed that Rigby's also making a return alongside the total episode count for the first season of this new run. Here's an interesting bit of news.
I hope Mordecai's
I just heard this last week. They want to do 44 more episodes of regular show. Yeah, 44. Nice. We'll get to that in a bit. William Salyer's the enemy. He said, "Did you hear the news? I'm just worried. Are you in or not?" As if I've somehow outgrown them. I wrote him back saying, "There is only one Skips, and he's very much looking forward to meeting his old pal Rigby." He sent me a gif of somebody dancing with joy. William Salyers is of course Rigby's voice actor. And with J.G. Quintel already involved, I'm gonna assume that Mordecai is also in the picture. It isn't a J.G. Quintel cartoon unless he's voicing the main character.
Why wasn't I thinking that, bro? I forgot he voiced Mordecai, so obviously.
So really, I'm assuming everybody's coming back. We got Mordecai, Rigby, and Skips confirmed to make a comeback, and the epilogue showed us that running the park is Benson's calling. Cool. He's dedicated his life to it. So we that whenever the hell the show takes place, he'll be there. Assuming they're still at the park. And there's no chance in hell they're gonna let Muscle Man sit this one out. My mom jokes are like half the reason why the show stayed popular long enough to come back. It kinda looks like the whole gang's here. Minus Pops on account of being dead. I-5 Ghost became a DJ during the epilogue, so maybe he'll have already tapped out of the park, and they have some new employees to fill in for him, Pops, and maybe Mordecai. We'll speculate more in a bit, but before we go any further, we gotta talk about that episode count. 44 brand new episodes.
That is
a lengthy episode order that's identical to the new season of Gumball, which could imply a lot actually. An episode order that big makes me think that it could air on TV, but have a big presence on streaming. However, since Regular Show and Gumball just disappeared from Max, and Adult Swim is scooping up a ton of Cartoon Network shows old and new, who knows?
What are these
Regular
shows,
Show is huge online, and I assume most fans probably don't have cable anymore. So respectfully, and Adult Swim is scooping up a ton of Cartoon Network shows old and new, who knows? Regular Show is huge online, and I assume most fans probably don't have cable anymore. So respectfully, premiering these episodes on cable first might be a waste. It would suck if we regress back to the 2010s, where we have to wait until the season airs on TV before having it added to Hulu a few months later. A practice Paramount's actually doing with the new Fairly Odd Parents. The season wrapped up in August, but it's not hitting Netflix until this fall. Now, there is a chance that episodes could hit Max next day after they debut on TV, which is something they offer with Adult Swim premieres, and at least did a Craig of the Creek, but we know that's actually still on the platform. Maybe they'll just stream it on its own as it premieres, but we'll see. I could easily see a bidding war breaking out between streaming services to get this new series because, simply put, having new Regular Show on your service is a huge W. This episode count also leads me to believe people might buy back cable maintain the structure and tone of the original series, because I'm assuming these 44 episodes are only 11 minutes. Of course, that final episode count might fluctuate depending on how many half-hour episodes they do. They come up with a crazy premise they can't fit into 11 minutes, or they have a big season finale episode. Those take up another 2 episodes apiece. You get the idea. That's why a lot of seasons are around 36 to 39 episodes. They were likely picked up for 11 minutes, but because of all the specials, the final count is just slightly under. If this does air on Cartoon Network proper though, we can kiss any chance of it aging up with the original audience goodbye. And while I'm fond of Regular Show continuing to exist in a space where they push the boundaries of what a TV PG show and a kids network can get away with,
they did push the boundaries.
It tastes to see more shows that I grew up with cut loose, and I feel like that show put it off without feeling edgy or trying too hard. Look, I know it's not the end of the world if Benson gets hammered off some wings instead of wings in a beer, but I do think after Water Discovery snatched close enough from JG, after having an entire season already written, the least they can do is let them capture some of that close enough magic in Regular Show by bumping it up to at least a TV-14 rating. I don't know what a TVMA Regular Show could look like, but hey, I'm down to find out. Unless you just count close enough, but there's not that many talking animals, shut up. However, while I don't think it's super likely, I do want to put out the possibility that this winds up on Adult Swim. After all, Adult Swim starts at 5 p.m. now, which is pretty early in the evening, all things considered. That means Cartoon Network would have to premiere episodes by 4:30 p.m., which just isn't a good time slot. Maybe they could settle for weekend premieres. Looking into it, I saw that they had Craig the Creek premiere its final season at 9:30 on Saturday mornings. And that's not the worst time slot in the world, but it just feels like a fall from Thursday night premieres.
I thought it was like 9:30, like on
Not to mention, Craig the Creek fits the Saturday morning vibe way more than a regular show. Not only would Adult Swim provide a better time, but once again, they have a habit of scooping up Cartoon Network shows. And a lot of people don't remember this, but a long time ago, I want to say like 2018, they actually ran Adventure Time on Adult Swim for a super short period of time when they were experimenting with the 8 p.m. slot. Regular shows' new series making the jump to Adult Swim would give it a better time slot, better marketing because Adult Swim bothers to let you know that their shows exist, and the show itself will be given more freedom, having it stand out from that original run. Plus, I just miss Close Enough. That's everything we for sure about this iteration of regular show, yet it still doesn't paint a picture of what the new series will actually be like. And I think they have a lot of options when it comes to the direction of this new series. When would it come out, bro? I need to know. One thing I'm definitely afraid of is that they'll be forced to ignore the ending. Pull a Dragon Ball Super and set it before the big time skip that ends the series, taking place after the gang gets back from space, but before the rest of the epilogue. Maybe Mordecai is still working at the park, easing into becoming an artist. He hasn't pulled the trigger on leaving just yet, allowing the show to build up to it. They could also build up to him meeting his wife and getting together with her. Show us how they got married, the birth of their kids. Just tell a bunch of stories in this era and try to see how long they can keep it going. 25 years is a long time, or they could go down the more dangerous path by basically making this new series an alternate timeline. Have this show's premiere dedicated to undoing the events of the original show's finale, so they never went to space, Pops never dies, Anti-Pops is dealt with in some other way, and then it's just business as usual, allowing regular show to exist in a perpetual Simpsons-like purgatory. But honestly, I don't think they go for this because they know how much people love the ending and would be furious to see it erased. Like, that ending saved season 8 for a lot of people. It was a fantastic conclusion to what's otherwise the show's weakest stretch of episodes. Who cooked that? Which is why I'm hoping they don't ignore the ending at all. Yeah, there's a chance they'd be forced into doing it just because Mordecai and Rigby are the most marketable in their 20s, as that's what we're all familiar with. But again, maybe the Adventure Time spinoff showed them that characters don't have to stay exactly the same to be appealing. That it's okay to move forward, and odds are, the audience prefers that than just repeating what came before. So if they don't ignore it, maybe they'd go for option 2. Pick things up where they left off 25 years later. Give us Mordecai and Rigby still getting into antics as 40-somethings. Instead of a workplace comedy, have it evolve into, well, a stealth 4th season of Close Enough. I'll stop mentioning it, I'm sorry.
Just kidding, I'll never be sorry.
A group of adults hanging out, having fun, while still honing in on a more family-focused approach to stories. Some episodes harken back to the old days, where Mordecai and Rigby have a problem and rope in people like Skips and Muscle Man. But instead of the inciting incident being something related to work and procrastination, it could be tied to something with their family and procrastination. Mordecai forgot to buy a birthday gift for one of his kids because he spent the last 2 weeks locked in with a new painting, and hijinks ensue as he tries to get a good one at the last minute. Rigby's behind on bills. He reaches out to sketchy characters to try and make a quick buck, and instead of just coming clean and being honest with Eileen, Rigby chooses hijinks. Get weird with it, but still have it relatable to everyone who grew up with the original. I would point to the comics for a launching point, but those comics, marketing themselves as Mordecai and Rigby's adventures as grown-ass men in their 40s, saw them de-age back into their prime as 20-somethings, scrambling to age back into a midlife crisis.
That's not a bad idea.
That's a fun premise for a one-off episode, but for a whole comic run called 25 years later, it made me feel cheated. Cheated! The new Beavis and Butthead also makes me think that this could work because they split the episodes between the duo being in high school like before and the duo as senior citizens. And they're actually pretty funny. The senior episodes stand out because, despite keeping the same dynamic, aging the two up unlocked a world of storytelling possibilities. And I really think regular show could benefit from doing something similar here. But I think what I want to see the most is option 3, focusing on Mordecai and Rigby's kids. We saw during the epilogue that their kids, like everyone nowadays, are glued to their screens. So maybe Mordecai and Rigby force their or oldest to work at the park, like they used to. That way, Mordecai and Rigby are still around, giving us B stories where Mordecai is searching for inspiration on a new piece, and pretty much becomes Spencer from iCarly. Again, you can tell relatable adult stories with these two, but the A-plot is focused on the new generation. Mordecai and Rigby's kids, and the other new employees at the park. Maybe some of these freaks from the epilogue. Oh, look at them! No sauce at all compared to the OGs. Yeah, maybe we just need to design some new characters instead. This squad wasn't meant to exist beyond these 2 seconds. Skips, Muscle Man, and Benson are still working at the park, but there's a notable absence of a Pops-like character. They can't ruin the ending by bringing Pops back to life, but Season 8 did introduce Lollyland, Pops' home planet, and characters like Frivula Kranis. You could easily have a new character from Lollyland come to the park and play a role similar to Pops. You can even get meta and make it an adjustment period for the park and the audience. Getting used to this person who reminds you of someone you love dearly, someone who's no longer around, warming up to them, and learning to love them for who they are and what they offer. He'll remind people of Pops, but he doesn't have to act exactly like Pops. And people will appreciate that in the long term. If they go with a setup like this, then I'm pumped for the new series. But either way, I'm going to put my faith in the team and let them cook. Yeah, we don't need more regular show. And yeah, it sucks we lost Close Enough. I wish the industry wasn't in a place where they're stuck making the same 5 shows forever. But we can at least hope that it'll be good. And so far, I'm optimistic for regular show's future. But as always, these are just my thoughts and I want to hear yours. How do you feel about the new regular show? What do you want to see in it? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. And
yeah, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this, bro. Me personally, of course I'm excited. Of course I want more regular show. Like, grew up favorite show of all time, bro. Best show of all time. Like he said, the ending, it was amazing. It was like perfect. Best ending I've ever seen. And I'm surprised they never combined regular show with Adventure Time, because I heard they were friends. The creators, they went to college together or something like that. But they were friends. I wish they would have combined, but I'm cool with them moving on. Like, being 25, I do want to know the backstories though, because I'm not gonna have a special connection with the wife, that little cat lady, if I don't know how they met, you know? I just gotta see, the first part, the pilot episode, it could be like, when they're still younger, like right after Pops dying, them talking about it, really the whole first episode. And then at the ending of that episode, it'll be like, 25 years later, showing them all they going their separate ways when they retire from the park. And then, yeah, that's how you finish the first episode. And then from there, I want to see how it builds up. Then that'll be cool. But anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think, how y'all feel about this, and what y'all want to see in the new regular show. As always, I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video.
I can teach you something, show you how to move. I can teach you something, show you how to groove. I can teach you something, show you where that too.